Hello, we are live. Welcome to Hack Shack Studios, the studio where I do all my comic book work. Hi, I'm Thibert, and I will be your host for the next hour or so. And as you could tell, I have the window open, so we're going to hear some cars and life that happens outside of the studio. But it's a nice day, and I need the fresh air. So I hope you can forgive me if there's any interruptions or sounds that are happening outside the studio. So welcome, everyone. So as usual, signs of life. I need the chat to light up so I can move forward. Yesterday was weird because we did a live stream and there was no chat. It didn't show up. And so this morning when I woke up, there was a email that said, sorry. It was from StreamYard. It said, sorry, the live chat was closed down for a brief moment of time yesterday. So that's what happened. And I don't see anybody. So is it happening again? Oh, there we go. Woo! Thanks, guys. Yeah. You made me sweat a little bit there. I think there's a delay too. It's really bizarre. I notice it more when I just go straight through YouTube, that there's a pretty significant delay there. So welcome Slick Rick, Arch Geek. Ooh, there's Sierra. Sierra was on yesterday. Yeah, if you heard, I just said, Sierra, what happened is that StreamYard actually had a problem, I guess a glitch. So the live stream was temporarily not functioning. I'm going to close this window because there's a lot of traffic sounds. And I don't like that. And I don't like that at all. So, so it should be quieter. We should get a better show out of this. And who else? Oh, we have Arthur Brown, the Uncanny Kodiak. Hey. What's up? So I'm going to be doing something different today. I'm going to take a little bit of a break. Oh, my gosh. It looks a little washed out. Look at that. Let me see. I'm going to open up. It's weird because it looks so different when I look at it in the computer. And then when it goes through StreamYards, it changes slightly. So it looks a little bluish. Let me see if I can get a little bit more light on it. Yeah, that's better. That's better. So I'm going to be inking this up. This is a commission, and the next couple days, or at least the next day, I'm going to try to catch up on some of my commission work. So I think I have 3 or 4 pieces, and then I have 2 pieces from the black and white campaign that I need to get on. I have them all in various stages of completion. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them I have in various stages of completion, kind of like this. So this is what I kind of consider a doodle or a rough drawing. So I'll blow it up a little bit. So I'm going to bring this together. And I'm going to do some brush work, and then I'm going to do some gray wash on it. I like to do things a little bit different for my commissions than my normal comic book work. I get bored. I think I get bored. So the show just improved 200% because I mentioned your name, or because this drawing showed up. Keep us on our toes. Yes, they do. Yes, they do, my friend. Yeah, it's so weird. I'm not a technical guy, nor do I really know how to troubleshoot when things go bad. So it's always a learning curve. So I'm sure in the next couple of years, I'll have this stuff down. And by then, you guys will be bored and moved on to somebody that's way better technologically speaking. Hey, we have Vilnid. Hey, thank you. And thank you so much, man, for posting stuff around on Twitter and supporting the Chrono campaign and this channel as much as you do. Greatly appreciated, my friend. Greatly appreciated. Hey, Arch, doing good. Yes, Arch is doing good. Archie Bear in the house. I don't know. I don't know, Arthur Brown. I've been seeing your posts on Facebook, and every time you post, the work is looking better and better. So yeah, use people like if you find inspiration. What I do, use them as inspiration because I still look for it all the time. But man, just keep going because your work is getting better and better every time I see it. Um, you posting up. Do you have an Instagram? I think you do. I think I've seen your stuff on Instagram as well. Um, but I think I mostly see it on Facebook. It's weird how some people show up more on certain platforms than others because I don't think I see um, Arthur Brown on Twitter at all, but I see Vilnid all the time, and I see Sierra Whiskey on Twitter as well. So Sierra, you got your book yesterday, didn't you? You got your black and white book. That was cool, man. I wish I had a camera on your face because you looked rather excited about it. So that really, really did bring a smile to my face as well. So that's cool. Hey, we got Andrew J. Andrew J. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, Andrew J. This was a commission left over from that con where I met you, the Long Island, Suffolk City or Suffolk County, Long Island. Yeah. So, hey, Arch Geek, back to Chrono. Awesome. Thank you so much, Garrett Townsend. I greatly appreciate it. Man, the last week, this campaign has been on fire, man. Thank you guys so much for helping getting the word out for Chrono and supporting it and backing it because, man, we're well over 10 grand now, 10K. And I think we're only 60 away from 10,500. So that would be cool if we could get a backer or two today. I just like round numbers, good round numbers. It always makes me feel weird, like oh, it's almost 500, but not there yet. We have Eric Weathers. Oh my gosh, Eric, we were talking like you up all day yesterday. Apparently, Sierra Whiskey likes you a tad. He's not only a fan of your lettering, but also your penciling and your inking. I saw the cover that you had penciled and inked for Sierra, and it looked really good. It looked really good. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Somebody's got my back. Somebody's got the back. Ooh, speaking of back, I like that. I do like that. Oh my gosh, it is not really a live stream unless we have some ketchup in the house. This is my favorite part of the show, by the way, you guys. It's pretty weird, but it is. A smudge. What? Or smidge. A smidge. I got a little reactionary there. A smudge where? Yeah, never say smudge around an inker or spill. Never say spill, accident, or smudge around an inker because they're always going to overreact because it usually means something bad. When I had the studio, Hackcheck Studios, I had at one time probably 5 people working with me in the studio. And Alan Martinez, who worked with the great Danny Mickey for a while as well, he assisted Danny, and he worked with me on the Bishop series for Marvel. And he used to do this thing just to get on my nerves. He would just like, at some point he'd go, oops. And I'd go, what oops? What oops, Alan? There's no oops in inking. And I'd get up and I'd always react. And then he'd just laugh his ass off. Haha, got you, Art. And he would do that for like, a year. And he would get me every time because you know what? You don't mess around. You don't mess around with the oopses or the smudge. A smidge is okay, but not a smudge. Never a smudge. Oh, we got an endorsement here. Black and White is fantastic. Love the book. Very well done. Well, thank you so much, man. I had a little help with Taylor writing and art assisting and Priya on colors and the fantastic Jeff Eckleberry on lettering. So, yeah, very cool. And, of course, the overseer editor-in-chief, my wife Pamela. So yeah, it was a group effort there. So let's get I wanted to show this, man. I just read this last night. I actually took some time off. You guys got to keep sending me your books that I back and stuff, because it's the only time I take off. And so I took some time off last night and read Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb. This is the great King Lee's work. I read in the notes here and the special thanks, he says this is his first comic. I hate you. I hate you, brother. I hate you, because if this is your first comic, it's only onwards and upwards from here. So yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because I don't know how much he showed you, but this is a really fun read. I think he's closed it out, but there will be a follow-up to this book. And he's got also, he has his website. He's selling t-shirts. And I think there's two other books. There's this, let me make sure I got this right. This book here, the professional wrestling book he's got. I'm not sure when this is going to come out. And then there will be a follow-up to Battle Maiden Knuckle Bomb. And then he's also got a fan section here. And I think I helped judge some of these. Actually, he's got this one for number 1. I think I like this one, though. Let me zoom in. It's a lot of effort there, man. So yeah, this is a great book. So if you guys backed it, read it, enjoy it, and post around, man. Show this book some love, because it is truly fantastic. It is a fun read. And if this is his first book, then, you know, sky's the limit. Oh, I got this too. I got this the other day. So my wife cracked it open, but I was like, don't do that, because I'll do unboxing. So this is from Marvel, but I'm not sure what it is. Ooh, I can't do that. I just saw an address. So, when I was in New York City, I went to Midtown. I hadn't been there in a while. That comic shop rocks. It rocks. So apparently this is how stuff comes. Oh, True Believer. So I wonder if I'm going to get royalties from this. I hope. So it looks like they're reprinting some of the old books. I didn't know they were doing this. True Believer number 1. Look at this. Ooh, it's on nice paper. I haven't seen this. Ooh, this is on nice paper. Look at this. Look at me in the day. Look at this hatching. It's pretty nuts. There's some crazy stuff going on here. Yeah, this was truly the days of experimentation. I still do a lot of experimentation, but this it felt really collaborative with Jim Lee and Wills Portacio. Look at my name right with Wils's and Jim, or John Byrne. Look at that. Sweet Mama Jamma. And the great Dana Morshead, who became a really good close friend after this. And Tom DeFalco. You guys, I've been trying to get a hold of Tom DeFalco. I talked to him at the Long Island Comic-Con, and he said he wanted, or he would be willing to come on this show and do an interview. So I'm not sure he has the equipment, so we're going to have to try to figure out how to get him on the show. But that would be killer to get the old editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics on a Hacks Chat live. That would be killer. But look at this. Spoiler alert. Spoiler. Look at Fun with Zipatone. Yeah, we were doing all kinds of stuff. I wonder if this is... yeah, this is still off the original colors. So this is pre-digital, you guys. So this is still old school coloring, but it's better paper. So you don't see the dot patterns and stuff. So this is like seeing it for the first time. Oh my gosh. I wish I had this page. This thing would be worth $1 billion right now. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm getting lost in this. This is becoming the self-indulgent stream. Oh, and then this is a reissue. So this is Thomas Mason's colors on this. And Thomas has colored a lot of stuff for me as well. He's really, really good, but he doesn't really like Comicsgate. So I think he would clean up if he came over here. And I would have definitely used him on black and white, but he has a little bit of a problem with Comicsgate, which is sad. Like I said, I think he'd do very, very well here. And Comicsgate really does need some good colorists. I think with Eric coming in and lettering everything, we have that area covered, but we really need some good colorists to come in, because I know I still have a hard time finding people, and I do want to get a good colorist, because I did a black and white Vampirilla cover, and I'm trying to find a colorist for that. So yeah, I'm still looking. So I'm loading up my brush here, and I'm going to have to ink something that isn't high profile until I warm up, because it takes me a while to warm up sometimes. So I don't want to make any mistakes. So I'm probably going to throw down some hair right now just to get my rhythm down and get some movement, loosen up my hand a little bit. But yeah, I kind of base this on Gal Gadot a little bit. She is gorgeous. At first, I was thinking when they announced her that I couldn't really see it working. And you talk about an actress that owned the part, because you always think of an Amazon as being a little bit, I guess, more buff. And she's kind of, she's tall. She has stature, but she's really skinny. I mean, she's ripped, but she's skinny, which is interesting for Wonder Woman. Oh my gosh, I think this brush is dead. When the brush does this and doesn't bounce back and stays in the shape, that means it's dead. The snap is gone. I will do the best I can. I have another brush here in case this one decides. Yeah, but look what it gave me here. Look at that. That's my favorite part of using a brush, is the spontaneity. Look, sometimes I just like strokes and how they come out. I think that's probably why I'll always be an inker at heart, because I absolutely love the black line. I can't help it. There's something about it that it really just gets me going. And I've said this, and I say this to people when they go, "Oh, digital inks, are they gonna go away? Or are inkers gonna be replaced?" And all that other stuff. And I say, because they're talking about, oh, just doing digital colors. And and getting rid of inks and all those other things. And I always say, like, ink lines are one of the things that defines comic book art. Just in general, it's an inked line. It's the only place, I believe, in modern contemporary art that that anyone inks anymore. I mean, they used to use ink in illustration, like newspapers and stuff, because it was cheap and you could reproduce it easier. You could reproduce it easier than a photograph. They just didn't quite have the technology. So a lot of things in newspapers and magazines used to be inked. So there were actually illustrators that knew how to ink and use the tools. And then even animation, old animation, the cells would be hand inked. So there was like inking as a craft. It used to exist a lot more, but the only place it really exists now is in comic books. And so when people ask me those questions, I always say, like it's one of the few things that actually defines a comic book. There's obviously panels and sequential storytelling, and then there's word balloons, and then there's inks. So whenever you see like a Madison Avenue ad, that's trying to do something comic book related, it will always be inked. So it's one of the things that actually defines it, defines the art form. And I don't hear a lot of people talk like that, but you're going to hear it from me a lot, because it's actually true, but no one really talks about how the language of comic books is really dictated by what I'm doing right now, by inks. So put that in your pipe and smoke it. That was my little soap opera, or soapbox there. Yeah, I get a little passionate about this stuff. Yeah, and you can just see, like, this is why I like the brush, because also I don't really have this hair worked out too much. So that's why I kind of bounce back and forth, because I'm trying to figure stuff out as I go, because it's not all worked out yet. So I'm kind of trying to structure it all up and figure out where I want the blacks and like the solid blacks, and where I want the highlights. I think I'm going to try to do her hair pretty much just solid black, or as much black as possible. I really like that look. I think it's pretty darn cool. So I kind of have the light source coming in from this direction over, even though I have the shadow, but I'm going to rework it maybe a little bit. All right, I don't like the way I penciled that. So sometimes with ink, I make better decisions than I do with the pencil, to be honest. So I don't mind changing things up a little bit in the inks, like, using the pencils more as a suggestion. But I'm going to stay fairly rigid on the face here. So, and I'm also sorry, because I kind of work close to here, and it's the edge of the drawing board, but I have to move it close to myself. Is that better? Yeah. So here it is so far. So I'm going to start blocking out some of the face. I want to get all of this in. Okay. So let's go with this. This is where you really want that snap, though. And if I was doing something that was more render oriented, as far as hatching, things like that, this brush probably would be letting me down right now. So I put heavy shadows like in there, or heavy lines to imply that it's inset. And so I have these little indents here, but I'm probably not going to ink them. I'll leave them for the ink wash. So sometimes I'll pencil things in, but they're more for the ink wash than they are, or more for tone than they are for a hard line. So I'm going to put some more ink on here. I hope you guys are behaving yourself. I haven't been looking at the chat. Yeah, so I want a little bit of hairs on the end, and then I solidify the rest of the eyebrow, and then sometimes I'll break it up at the end. So if you can see that a little bit, let me see if I can bring some more light in. Yeah, it's really weird the way this camera works. I can't quite get it down. I try every time I go into one of these drawing streams, I readjust that camera, but I don't know how to quite get that kind of shadowy blue out, because if I mess with the brightness, what happens is it'll kind of get rid of all my detail. So it'll just look all washed out. It'll look all white. So I'm going to thicken up the eyebrow a little bit. I actually like women that have fuller eyebrows, just as an aesthetic. And I'm going to hint at a little there. I don't want to put too much detail in the tear duct. Tear ducts are not sexy. You don't want to put too much emphasis on the tear duct. So here's the other. I kind of gave her like some little wisps of hair that come down. Sorry about the spinning as well. I don't want to put you guys into some kind of vertigo state. But at times it is necessary. I have some detail worked out in the tear duct here, but I may ignore it. Yeah, you guys, don't be afraid to edit and to redefine your drawing in the inks, because also it's where the spontaneity comes from, where the energy comes from. I've said before that writing and drawing are a process. Inking is a performance. So everything I'm doing right now is permanent. This is not like, oh, I'm going to come back on it later. This is it. So it's actually more of a performance than it is. I'm going to put some heaviness there. Than it is a process. So it's kind of like a live stage performance in a musical or something like that. Okay, so now I'm kind of looking, I'm reassessing my balance, and I think what I'm going to do is give myself a little bit of a hint at this and a little bit of a hint here as well. And what I'll do is I'll emphasize that in the wash. So this piece wasn't worked out incredibly tight. So I'm kind of bouncing back and forth and trying to figure out how to finish it up and what would be the best way to do that. So I hope you guys are digging this. I'm gonna block out her shoulders here just so I can get a sense of the balance of everything, because I am going to start adding some blacks to her hair. So I have the brush loaded up really well, but I should probably go to the chat. But I think I'm gonna throw some stuff down here real quick. Sometimes you gotta go with the spontaneity and play it out. So I think I'm gonna leave an open area here. And then come in. I haven't figured out where I'm going to put the highlights on her hair, but kind of like these thin little rhythm here. Thematically, you when you ink, you want similar things to happen throughout the piece. So I have this little suggestion here, like I did here and here and here, because I was going to just do those with ink wash. But I think just to keep that idea playing out, I'll add just a little bit of detail here. You don't want to add too much detail on a woman's face because they tend to start looking older. And I know that my ladies usually start looking a little youngish, but it's just an aesthetic I like. So I don't make really any apologies for it. It's just kind of the aesthetic I like. And Art Adams made a major career out of drawing like youngish characters, youngish looking characters. So I think I follow that same kind of idea. Okay, so I want a little bit there as well. And I have this. So I want most of my blacks to be on the bottom. That's why I'm working from the bottom, because I know that I want the heavy stuff down here. And I'll probably lighten the hair up as I go higher up. I'm going to ink this. Oh, man. Okay. Don't get uptight. Go with the flow. The Zen inker. And then how I have those little lines there, I'm going to do the same here just to kind of keep with it. This implies the shoulder. This is just going to be a wisp of hair. I'm going to do all kinds of little wisps and stuff, you'll see how the hair comes together. It usually looks really rough at this point, and you're just like, it just looks like a bunch of dry brush nuttiness. But it gets steadily more refined as it goes along. So I'm going to clean my brush out and go back to the chat real quick, and I'll give you, this is kind of where it is all at this point. So I'll keep going. I'll keep it going. Wait a minute. You guys have been on fire. What's going on here? You guys need to slow down. Victor? Who's Victor? Who is Victor? Is everybody screaming Victor? This is not Victor's channel. This is my channel, Victor. Okay, I'm going back and find out where all this Victor talk came from. Wait, what? What is this? I think right now Cyberfrog has the best art in comics? Oh, come now. Surely you haven't seen Black and White. Ooh, you guys got a little stuff going in here. What's going on here? Wow. Go ahead, ban me if you dare. What? Who's banning who? What the hell's going on here? 322. See, this is what happens. This is why we can't have nice things, you guys. Ooh, Outlaw Knights. I think actually Render Contender's working on that. Okay, so we're back that I can start relating to. We're talking about Kyung Lee, because I showed his book. I love that book. Kyung is awesome. Yes, he is. He is really awesome. And he's turning into one of my better friends here. So Lee is he is legit. Yes, he is a very cool dude. And I wish I had his knowledge of technology, because if I had that, I would be like on fire. I would be insane. I'd be editing videos. I'd be doing all kinds of stuff. Oh, this is cool. Thanks, Pixel. I really like the design on the black and white trading card. Thank you, man. And coming from Pixel with his trading cards, this guy knows, man. He's got a line of trading cards as well. I think he's going to be reissuing them soon. I'm not sure, though. Art support his IT support guy. My IT support guy. Oh, IT support guy. I wish I had an IT support guy. Right now, it's between Kyung Lee and my friend Curtis. I think that's pretty much it. My wife kind of has, like, she has more of an innate sense of how it works, because when she was working at Northrop and things, she was around computers. I really didn't get into the whole computer thing till maybe 5 years ago. So I'm playing catch up. I've always, like, in the studio at Hack Shack, we've always had a computer, but I wasn't the guy that was running the computer. So I usually had somebody like Rich Birdsall or Taylor Grasso that kind of took care of some of that stuff. Asked Tom DeFalco if he'd clean house in the present day Marvel. You guys, that's why I want to have him on his show, because he actually has some good insight and some constructive criticism on what the modern day Marvel is and possibly what they could do. But whenever I see stuff like that's happening at Marvel or at Disney or whatever's happening right now, I always go back to, like, it's by design. You know what I mean? Like, this, somebody wants this to happen. This isn't an accident. You know, Okay, Kyle is busy with Star. Yeah, I think if we're talking about the black and white Vampirilla cover, that would be cool. So I don't know who Brett R. Smith is. I'll check him out later. Kelsey, oh my gosh. I want to ask Kelsey to I just well, I'm almost done with the cover, the variant cover with Caravaggio in it that Carlo Barbieri was so nice to pencil up for me that I'm close to getting it done with the inks. And gosh, I would love to get Kelsey to color that. I don't know what he charges, and that guy, I mean, come on, man, he's got to be up to his teats in work. Yeah, like I think so. I think he's overused. That's well, not overused, but you know what I mean. It's good for him, but oh, excuse me. It makes it hard for people like me because I'm like, oh, I'd love to use him, but he's so darn busy. Okay, I don't know what some of this stuff is. Go ahead and ban me if you dare. No, I'm not going to ban anybody. Just be cool. Oh, okay. I don't know. I think Sierra's got a wrench. Kelsey's fantastic colorist. He's working on that piece of ours. Oh yeah, that's right. You told me that's the Eric Weathers cover. How much lead time did you have to give him though? I'm sure it was months. Yeah, I think there's some other conversations going in here, but I'm not quite in tune with them, so I'm not going to get into that. Sierra has a couple of really slick concepts being developed. You know what? I'm going to click these so you guys can see it. I'm looking forward to seeing how they develop over the next few months. Yeah, I think Sierra was talking about summer. Is that Higgins ink? No way, dude. No way. Higgins is for rookies. This is Pelican all the way. Get the drawing ink though, because they have another type of ink, but it's not. It kind of lifts. It's not. Oh, you son of a bitch. You sucked me in, man. I didn't see the other line. That's a joke from WonderCon. So I didn't bring ink to the show. So I went up to, I think it's Art Supply Warehouse. They had a booth and they were selling art supplies. So I think Taylor was videotaping me buy the ink, and I said, "Do you have any Pelican?" He says, "No. All we have is Higgins." I go, "Well, Higgins is okay in a pinch." Inking rules. Chicks dig it. I'll have to take your word for that. Oh, yes, you guys. Happy Veterans Day, man. Peace to all the vets. So sometimes these things I overlook, and I apologize. Yeah. So, hey, we got Pablo in. Hey, Pablo, how are you, brother? So, I think Cyberfrog has the best. Okay, I think we're kind of caught up now. Art's coming out swinging. I don't know what I'm swinging at. Oh, made with the Victor stuff. I was just kidding, Victor. You're always welcome. I think everybody loves Victor. I do draw the best women's faces. Yeah, this is a commission. This is a leftover from the Long Island, Suffolk County Comic-Con. I did a couple weeks back. I got to meet a bunch of comics gators. I think Andrew J was one of the standouts. So everybody that supports Comicsgate is freaking amazing, and this whole indie indie revival, I guess is what some people are calling it. Time slips like grains of sand, so don't miss out on Chrono Mechanics. Oh, Arthur Brown, not only are you a talented artist and video director, but you also are a poet. He's a poet in his heart. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. And getting to see Art Space, pretty interesting. He's got a little command center set up. Yeah. And I will clean the studio up and get you some photos for your online magazine, brother. So we'll do it. It's just a matter of trying to prioritize everything. Oh, wait a minute. You were listening in yesterday. Yeah, we were doing a zillion chicken puns. Yeah, yesterday. Sierra Whiskey is Killer Frickin' Chickens from space, and Killer Frickin' Chicken spells KFC. So, oh my gosh, I'm getting hungry. It's 4 o'clock. It's time for a snack. Oh my gosh, you guys are still on fire. I'm never going to get back to my inking. I'm going back to I'm going back to being sketch. Oh, okay. I don't know what that means. All right, cool, you guys. So we're caught up. Let me refresh my brush here. Yeah, you guys always make sure your brush doesn't dry out too. That's some really good advice from a guy who knows. Yes, because inking with a hard brush, it's not very fun. Wait, before I start this, I'm going to figure out where my highlights are in the eye. I think I want them over here. And then I'm going to draw, because it's better to indicate this stuff than try to make it up with the brush. Some stuff I can, but others it's left better not to. So let me go in here and I'll start. Yeah, I told you guys to warm up first. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just jump right into these eyes. Okay, so I think I'm going to structure some more stuff up. And then I'll start throwing the blacks down. So one thing I do as well with the ink is you'll see there's a thicker line on this side and a thinner one here. That's because it when you do that, it implies that there's kind of a lip there or a shadow. It's just kind of a little fun ink thing you can do. So I'm going to start throwing in my little wisps, start working into the solids. So I'm probably just going to do a series of these movements. And then either I'll come in with like wash, or I'll come back in and bring some more heavy blacks. I think I want a solid here. And then possibly a highlight in here. Let me see if I can structure this in. So you can kind of see it coming together. The key is like I sometimes I get a little too sloppy. But at the same time, I'm trying to create some energy and make it more kinetic and organic. Because the key is not to get too like uptight about it. Like you can't be like overly controlling with it. Like if I was inking like Marvel and DC style, I could be way more controlling with this. But this style, and that's why I like it, is because it's a little out of control actually. I feel like a rebel. I'm a rebel, Dottie. I'm a rebel. So, and then I had this big wisp here. And then this comes through because this part right here and this part, they're open. They're not solid. So you can kind of see how it's building up the blacks. And I got to figure this one out here. Sometimes there's too much detail. So I'll come back in and blacken it back in. I'm trying to get a little uptight about that section right there. Just feels like it needs more solid black. So then I come in with this. Joop, 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 joop. Yeah, there is going to be, some hatching and things, but not a lot. So usually this section here doesn't have a lot of light. So I'll kind of come in with the brush and make it more black. Sorry, you guys, I'm kind of thinking while I'm working here. When it's not worked out as well, I have to kind of concentrate. It's not just covering lines at that point. It's kind of working out details. So one of the fun parts is like little wisp. This is what I was telling you about, like that it'll bring it together where there's like these little wisps of hair, and they kind of they add detail, but it's not really like, I don't know how it's detailed, but it's not kind of like labored detail. It's kind of spontaneous. So it's weird because you can do this with black hair, but like if it's blonde hair, you kind of have to work it out a little bit more up front because you have to outline everything. It has to be structured. So it's kind of the opposite of this. And to be honest, I kind of don't like inking blonde hair as much. There's less to work with than there is with dark hair. I'm not saying I don't like blondes, because I do. I married one, but just as far as inking and doing this kind of stuff. All right. Okay, let's figure this out. Like I said, I want to start bringing more highlights up top, but I got to figure out how to do that. And not make it look odd. So there's a lot of cool little like extras that you can throw out. It, like I said, it's it's detailed, but it's not like labored detail. I don't know how else to put it. Like it's not all drawn out and calculated. It's just kind of spontaneous. And some of it was in pencil form. You guys can see me kind of going over some of the pencils. I'm going to go back and see if you guys can see this kind of coming together here. This looks a little awkward. I'm going to bring more black in here. Yeah, it looks better. And possibly some more little strands coming down. So it's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, I'm going to bring more solid in there. So let's see if I can pull off this. I want a certain stroke. And boom, look at that. Yeah, sometimes, man, you want something and life just gives it to you. So okay, so I think what I'm going to do is put a highlight in here. So I kind of suggested one here. Now that I look back, like right across here and a little bit here. So it's like the light is picking up in through here. So the light is also picking up in through here. So it might look like I'm just throwing lines down, but I kind of have an overall idea of where I want to go with it. So just like storytelling, I kind of have a basic beginning, middle, and end of where I want stuff to go. So let's bring some stuff in there. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Yeah, there's maybe a little too much light hitting there, but the hair's just about blocked in. And let me see. Yeah, I want light on top, but not too much. So I'm going to bring one of those spontaneous little detail wisps there. Maybe there. Here. And then I kind of like that double look there. So that might be it for the wisps. So I'm going to figure out how much detail I want to bring into the tiara and her costume. This was just a headshot, but I kind of turned it into a bust. I felt a little bad for making the guy wait. So also, this is way more work than he would have got at the con anyway. I can't really spend this kind of time on stuff at the shows. So I just want to suggest that stuff. I don't want to get too heavy into that detail because that's not what this is about. It's about this. It's not about around here. And what I'm going to do, I don't know if you guys can see this red. What I think I'm going to do here, it might be cool, is see how this is yellow and then it has red outline. I think I might do a red outline around the stars and then color the center of it yellow. Sometimes I like to do, I kind of like the like limited color with black and white. I think it looks very cool. So on a lot of my commissions, I play with those ideas. And also when I do these commissions on sketch covers, I try to incorporate my drawing into the logo or into the design of the cover. Because some of these have, some of these sketch covers or blank covers have, they have themes to them. They have like type and different stuff going on. So I like to make it look like it fits into the cover design and not just this weird kind of drawing that's set over a blank cover or just a cover. Okay, so here's the other eye. And sometimes I'll leave a little thin line here. And I think the reason I do that is so if I work with a colorist, they kind of know where the eye ends. Sometimes a colorist will color the eye all the way to the bottom of the eye, the eyelid, and it looks so weird. Like, why'd you do that? So I don't like real mechanical eyelashes. I like kind of just spontaneous ones that you throw down. And I have to say, I kind of learned that from Dave Finch. He had like this real organic way of doing eyelashes and stuff. And I always liked that. I think it looks kind of a little weird when they're too mechanical looking. What I mean by that is when, let me see if I have a piece of paper here. You know, when you do this, I also think it looks kind of kid-like or childish. So I try not to do that. It's just a personal take. Some people really like it, but I don't. Okay, so I want some of this detail not to be too obvious. I want it to kind of, I don't want you to really look at this stuff. So it's kind of like when I do this dry brush, I'm making it a little out of focus, for the lack of a better term. Okay, so I'm going to try to do something funky cool here with her metallic headband. Kind of push the shadow back here so it looks like it's recessing. I pulled this out too far. I don't like that. I might actually take that out. And sometimes light's going this way. I like to put, I might do this with wash though. It might look too heavy. So I'll just kind of structure it in so I keep that same idea, like I was doing those little ghost lines, those little thin lines for you. like here, here, here. So just to keep the whole theme of everything going. I kind of want a little bit of detail there. I think this needs more of that. Okay, I just realized something. One, it's getting darker here, so I got to check my lighting. And two, I don't have my palette. I took the palette to the con, and I don't think I unpacked it. So I need to go find it real quick. That's what I kind of mix my gray tones in, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do all the gray tones for you guys, and then maybe while I'm up, I'll try to find my I'll try to find my red and yellow markers as well. So I will be right back. I'll yell because I'm going to be in the other part of the room. See if I can find this stuff easily. I found some yellow paint. I might be able to do it with this. I'm back. I have a red pen here as well. It's old, but I'll see if it still works. Ooh, it's kind of dry brushy. It might not work though. But I want to put the yellow down first. You know what? I'm going to do this last though, because the yellow is going to make a mess with my ink wash setup here. So I'm going to go into ink wash. Once again, clean out my brush a little bit. Got my palette. This is what I mean by palette here. So what I do is I kind of drop a couple drops of ink in, and then I can add water to it and slowly kind of make it darker or lighter. By adding more water, make it lighter. And oh, excuse me. Oh my gosh, excuse me. Or more ink. Awful red. I see a black door and I want to paint it black. Oh, we have Awful Redneck Gamer in the chat, so that's cool. Can we bid on this? Just don't let that guy from the con know. Well, I don't know if you have a blank cover, because he gave me this blank cover. All of a sudden I was getting greedy. I'm like, yeah, let's bid on it. I don't know. I don't know. Man, all of a sudden I'm getting dollar signs. How much were you thinking? Andrew J? Because I would also need another cover sent that was identical to this one. And I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to find it. I don't know how to get it. I don't know anything about that. Anyways, I won't let my greed get the better of me. I will keep going. I think at the con this was 70, but a commission like this realistically would probably be 100, between 120 and 150 probably. So the guy's he's getting a deal, but he waited as well. So that's why I did a little extra for him. Little something. Okay. So I think it still looks pretty good. I'm going to open these shades up a little bit more. See if I can bring some more light in. I'm sorry, you guys. It's just the way the light works from the studio. It changes. This time of day, it changes constantly. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have the palette. I throw a bunch of water in here. Ooh, I hit the mic. No mic hitting. So I got a puddle of water there. It's already kind of gray because there's ink in the brush. And then what I'll do is I take my ink. I shouldn't be doing this over the drawing, by the way. You should never do stuff like that over the drawing. And I just put a drop or two in. It doesn't take much, you guys. Like, it doesn't take much to do these gray tones. And also, just keep in mind with the gray tones, you could destroy them very easy if you go too heavy. And also, I have to say this. Oh no, I could ruin this. Some of this cover stock for these blank covers, they do not take dry brushing very well. So maybe I'll do very limited dry brushing. I'm not dry brushing, I'm sorry. Ink wash. Because, well, we'll see. It sometimes gets very blotchy and it looks horrible. It looks horrible. So I don't want to ruin this piece, but I do want to enhance it slightly with the ink wash. So I kind of erase it a little bit before I do the ink wash. It's easier. So I'm going to throw it into the hair first before I try to do anything serious with that ink wash, just to see if it works. I hope it does, because I have all kinds of ideas of how to bring this together with the ink wash. If not, it might have to stay the way it is. So I'm hoping I don't get to show you what happens with this paper. This is the only time, for a long time, I wasn't taking these type of commissions, like cover commissions and stuff, because I couldn't do the gray ink wash on them. And I felt like just the quality was suffering because the paper would get blotchy. So I hope he doesn't mind. I wonder if the back cover stock inside is the same. Ooh, look at that. We lucked out. No blotch. No blotch. We are good to go. Thanks, Ink Fates. So here's what I was talking about, where you can kind of go in and fill these little areas here. It's just kind of cool. Always when you're doing dry brushing, have some kind of towel with you, because then you can dab. In a pinch, I'll use my finger. So I have this kind of medium dark tone loaded up. And so I just go around and just kind of throw some tone in, and then I start building it up. I don't know if you guys can see, it's still kind of light, but you can see that I'm slowly building it up. And so I had the light going in this way, so I'll bring some shadow in there. I'll bring a little shadow under the nose, a little bit here. So what I tried to do is be very kind of conservative at this point until I figure out really what I want and how to do it. Okay. Push that back. Maybe a little hint there. And then I'll make, actually a little too light. I'll bring a little bit of gray in here to push this back. A little here. And then I'll just add a little gray into this so it helps with the transition. Okay, hold on. Sorry, that's very rude. I hate doing that. Okay. So I'll hold this up a little closer. You can see the grays kind of taking shape here. Like I said, at this stage, I'm usually pretty conservative with what I'm doing, because with wash, well, with any ink, once it's on, it's pretty much there. There's not a whole lot you can do about it. So I used to always like black lips. And oh, here's what I was telling you about, like a little dot to kind of get into that deep little pushback there on the lips. But I'm kind of getting out of that, where like the women's lips are like solid black or whatever with highlights. I've kind of grown a little tired of that. I think it also depends on the character. Wonder Woman is way more kind of natural, I think. So to, I don't know, dollar up too much, for the lack of a better term, because when you put black on their lips, they kind of look like they have makeup on. So I think for the more natural characters, it's good to keep the lips more open, more natural. You don't want them to look like they just made themselves up to go fight crime. It kind of detracts from just the badass superhero-y aspects. And what I like to do too is put like a little bit of a shadow back here, especially where it recesses back here. Maybe a little bit more here, because that's what I was talking about, like play with it and then kind of move around and see how it's all developing. Wow, actually, I gotta sneeze. I'm gonna try not to. I want to throw the ear back a little bit into, like, recess it into the shadows. And then I want this side of the lip to maybe be a little darker, and then maybe the bottom of it as well. And then the bottom of the lip here. So it's starting to take shape. I'm so glad this paper decided to behave itself, though, because it's the worst when you're working on these and the paper just doesn't handle the wash at all. One of the things you can do too with some of this wash is you can hatch. So you can draw with it. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's like these little hatch lines coming out of here. So you can also you can put hatch lines in. Probably should be a little darker than that, but okay, here's those little things too. Put some, kind of bring some shadows. in. All right. This is coming together. I'm not real happy with this area here. So I'm going to have to figure something out. Okay, I don't want that much. I'm going to take some of the paint off or ink off. I don't want that to be like a solid black. That's why I didn't fill it in before. So what I'm going to do now, and hopefully this works, is I'm going to bring a little bit more heavy solid black in. Let me see here if I can get a good mixture going. I think I want a little bit heavier. You can't see it, but I'm kind of on the side. I play with stuff to see what tone it is. I got it now. So what I want to do is I want to recess some of this and fade it into a black so it doesn't stand out as much and it looks like it's more in shadow, but there's still detail. There's still detail there, but it's just not pronounced. It's a lot more subtle. So here's kind of an update on the grays. I'm almost done. I think I want to build some more. I kind of like when shadows fade into like hair and stuff. Like like in here. Might be a little too heavy. Let me see. Yeah, it might be. Maybe I should have left it alone. Let me see. Yeah. I should probably move away. Because one of the things is when you're doing wash, you don't want to overwork it, man. You want to put just enough down. So one of the things I find, if you're spending too much time in one area, then you're probably screwing up. Like if you spend too much time in one single area and you're not moving around all the time, then you're probably overworking the area. So it's always better to kind of be like a bee that's pollinating different things and just kind of bop it around and constantly look at how the piece is developing. I don't want to get rid of that, but maybe it's a little too much. Yeah, maybe. Let me see. I'm actually looking at the camera version because it's kind of looking better on that, or I can see it better on that. So the camera's doing its job. All right, so I'm gonna bring some. Oh, it's too much. I almost put it down. I was getting kind of lazy and just wanted to get it done so I could get at those stars. But it's not a good move. Okay. So I think we're almost there. Okay. I'm going to kind of accent the eyes a little bit more. And then the lips. And then that will be all. You want those eyes to stand out. They truly are the windows to the soul. Okay. a little bit, because I don't want to do too much over here because the light is coming in from this direction. Okay. All right, a little bit more on the lips, like I said. And then we'll put this one. Well, we got to do the stars, I should say, first. Okay. I'm just going to do it. I've been fighting with myself this whole time. I'm just going to do it. I hope it's the right move. I need some more ink, though. And now it's not going to give it to me. Okay, this is bugging me. I didn't like that. All right. Boom. Up. Too much. Let's throw some black in here and here. Almost fade it in. And then I know I said it was going to be done, but artist work is never done. There's always something else you can figure out how. Oh, look at that. Okay. Bring a little in there and in here. Okay. I'm not going to do it here, but I'll be posting this on Instagram and stuff. And what I do is I bring in some white highlights and stuff. So I pull out more detail in the hair, but I need to wrap it up because I know people kind of get bored with drawing streams. So I don't want to bore you guys, but I wanted to try to give you a completed piece of art that's done. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to do something real quick too, because to work with color, I can't use the water I have. So I got to go rinse out my water tin. So you guys look at that while I'm doing that. Talk amongst yourself. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm walking back. Sorry about that, guys. I think had I known I was going to do the yellow stars, I would have been better prepared. So I'm going to use this. I don't know what this is. I think my daughter gave it to me. Is it acrylic? Yeah, it's acrylic. So it should be okay as long as I don't use it too thick, as long as I can water it down pretty good. Okay. Let's see how this. Oh, I gotta erase some of this. It's pretty dirty, and you'll see the yellow right through it, or you'll see the pencil through the yellow, I should say. Okay, I think that's good enough. My dad used to say good enough for government work because he worked for the government. That's kind of sad, though. It's the government. Who cares? All right. Oh, this is a little too thin. But you don't want it to be too thick either, especially like if it's acrylic, because it makes it hard to ink over and stuff. So here we go. We got 1 star in. I wanted to do fun stars, not like where they're all perfect and stuff, like silly fun stars. So, man, this is not anywhere close to that color of the logo, though. So maybe if I build it up, it'll work better. It's getting there. It's getting there. That's what I should call this stream. It's getting there. So you can see, like, I just don't really want to do these commissions. They look cool, but they're not tight at all. Like, they're really loose. So I kind of like it. It's kind of liberating to do something that's not as, like, I don't know, tight. Just something fun and loose. Okay, so we got that, and now I can do, I'm going to use a pin. I can use a brush on this, but I don't want to be too controlled. So this is the most important part. You guys, take note, the most important part of your drawing. Some people go, oh, you know what? You need to learn anatomy. Some people go, oh, you know what? You need to learn perspective. Oh, you need to learn whatever, this way, that way. No, the most important part of everybody's drawing is the signature. Yeah, it's a little known truth. People don't like to tell you. They don't like to tell you these things because they don't want the competition. But you know what? It doesn't matter to me. I want this knowledge to get out in the world. I want people to prosper, quite frankly. I want them to do well in life. Some of my contemporaries, they just they want you all to fail, and they won't tell you the signature is the key, but it is the key. So write it down, boys and girls. All those sketches that you have in your sketchbook, start putting down some signatures. Get your signature down. Look what it did for me. I've had several signatures over the years. I'm constantly reinventing them as I reinvent myself. Ooh, that sounded good. So there's that. All right, so this is pretty much done. What I am going to do, and you know what? If you guys want, I'll do some wisps of hair and show you what I mean. I'm not going to do all of it, but I'll do some of it just so you can see what I mean when I say, you know, I'm going to do little whiteout over the hair. And I'll do a couple of them if you guys don't mind. Let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I'll just put the red around the stars and then we'll call it a day. I appreciate you guys being here, but I don't want you to feel obligated to stay longer. Because like I said, I know sometimes these live streams can get boring. I'm going to ink it this way because this yellow is still wet. This way, I don't have to put my hand in wet paint. So I'm going to do this, and I know that this brush kind of pin is not working very well, but let's see if it works out. I'm going to it's kind of like a dry brush look right now. So then what I'm going to do, oops, is, yeah, see the oops? You don't want to say oops. But I'm going to go over it with a red Sharpie. And then we should get the best of both worlds. Kind of like a sketchy kind of dry brush look, and then like a sharpness. Also, this thing is getting a little too dry brushy. Let me see if I can find my red marker. I had one that was working pretty good the other day. Oh man, this thing's a little dry brushy too. Ah! I thought I had two of them in here. Sweet mammity jammity. Oh, there it is. Ooh, there it is. Ooh, there it is. Oh my gosh. You know what? Sharpies don't last very long. These both kind of stink. Okay, well, let's see if I can do what I wanted to do. Maybe, yeah, it actually is kind of looking a little blurry, a little diffused. So it's kind of working, not exactly as well as I wanted it to, but it's kind of cool. I'm trying to be careful not to stick my hand in the wet yellow. So I'm going to have to flip it. That's, I think, why inkers learn to flip the pages, because you don't want to put your hand in ink, but at the same time, you have to keep working. You have to keep putting lines down. So I think it's just kind of a way of getting things done quickly. And also, you know, just get your hand in the right position. But I don't always do it for that. Like in this case, I'm definitely doing it so I don't stick my hand in wet ink. This thing's dying. It's dying as I speak. Okay. So that's kind of the, wow, that looks pretty darn cool. Okay. It's kind of drying. Okay, a little line there. Bring this down there. And go over this, 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 this. And I don't want this one as thick. I want this line to be a little thinner than the other ones. All right. Well, this is pretty much it, with the exception of the white wisps in her hair. So let me know in the chat if you guys want that for me to finish this up. Well, I'm just going to do a couple of them just to give you an idea of what I was talking about. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it, and we can call it a D. So what's happening? Yes, these mods seem to be chomping at the bit. What is going on here? Mods in my stream? How dare you guys? Tungsten, yeah. Yes, I would pay 100. Wait a minute. Is this confirmed? If this is confirmed, Victor, or is this a hypothetical? Yeah, I like the signature to be on the outside of the book cover, actually, so that I can see them without opening the book. Yeah, I did that with black and white. I signed all the outsides. Ooh, is this a new? I don't recognize this name. Sponge Scan. Well, welcome if this is your first time. Dude, I'm not a sock. I'm a real boy. I got to go back instead of reading these in reverse, because I'm not catching this stuff. I don't get bored. Ooh, I like that. But I hope you don't get bored with what I'm doing. That's the main thing. Okay, I'm going back in time. I'm going back in time. Yeah, you know what? I'm time traveling right now in the chat. Yes. I'm going back in time. Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. Oh, you guys are having your own conversation here. Oh, this isn't my chat that's being moderated or anything, right? I hope not. I'm still going back. You guys are all over here. Chill out sketch. Watch art because of spreading lies. Oh yeah, let's not spread lies about Mike. Mike's, Mike is Mike, but Mike's a good guy, man. He just is doing his own thing. We can all do our own thing, and we don't have to agree 100% with anybody, but let's just be respectful and leave those people alone. All right. I think, oh, is this a new face? Bobby Johnson. Hey there. Hi there. Ho there. Okay. But prove. Wow, you guys have really been on fire here. Okay. So, gee, I love the super chat as I do on many channels, but your mods ban the Sketch Therapy account. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure Sketch was probably being naughty. Oh, Durakin hates signatures. What? No, there's no hate. He says he hates, but he loves mine. He makes the exception for just me. All right. Well, I don't have anybody in the chat saying that they want me to do some of the white stuff. So I think I'm going to call this one, and I'll do one last scan and let you guys see what it looks like up close. I'd love to see this fully colored. Oh, wait. Victor wants to see it fully colored. I don't know if there's anybody out there. I know Durakin does color work, so maybe once I post it, I'll post some good scans. He can grab one of the scans and throw some color over it. That might be fun to see. Okay, so we got 2 do-its. Do it. Okay, I'm gonna go get some clean paint real quick because this stuff has yellow in it. So yellow and white do not mix. Okay. Do it. All right, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. Yes, Matt says yes too. So let's, oh man, you guys are awesome. Okay, so we did say yes, do it. I haven't highlighted Mikey Woods today. So thank you. Pablo says do it. Slick Rick says yeah. It's definitely a color. Do it art. Awful Redneck Gaming. Like I said, that wasn't the one I wanted. Matt is what I wanted. Yeah, just do it. Palpatine, man, that movie, whoa, that Star Wars movie is going to be a cluster F, man. I've never seen such an epic fail before it even hit the theaters. If it comes out great, man, there's going to be a lot of people eating their words, but I don't think anybody has any reason to think, oh my gosh, I haven't used this white paint in a while. Hold on. It's a mess. I don't know if I can use this. Wow, it's hard as a freaking rock. Okay. You guys, I'm trying to get my Pro White active, but I don't know if you can see this. It's kind of dried up. I'll see if I have another bottle. Let me kind of see. Oh, nah. This stuff is hard as a rock. Look at this. So let me see if I have another bottle. If you don't use the white paint a lot, what happens is it'll just dry up. Yeah, you know what? I'm sorry, you guys. I'm not going to be able to do that. I just don't have another bottle. I think I do in the other room, but I'd have to search all over for it. And I don't want to waste your time and patience. So this is pretty much it. It'll have the, I'll scan it and I'll put it up on Twitter and my Instagram and Facebook. So you'll get to see it with the white streaks and things and details in the hair. But this is pretty much it here for you guys. So thank you so much for hanging with me. It's been a blast. And if you haven't backed Chrono Mechanics, please do so. Chrono Mechanics is my newest project, only on Indiegogo. And I think let me check real. Do I have the tab? I don't have the tab open actually. But yeah, we're doing real good. I think it's 10,480 or something like that. So we're doing really good, and we got to continue because I have to pay some bills. I have to pay Render Contender. I have to pay Narwhal. Those guys don't come cheap, man. And Jeff Eckelberry on colors. So thank you guys so much. I hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, check my social media, and I'll post this with all the white highlights and little strands and details in there. And sorry I wasn't able to do that on the strand. You guys were very cool wanting to see that, but just can't make it happen for you. So thanks again. Everybody have a good night. Take care.